Alright guys, welcome back to Valorant News. Massive drama going down in the Valorant world last night, especially involving DSG, the organisation owned by Disguised Toast, getting involved a lot in Valorant over the last couple of years. The Americas situation with Yay becoming effectively Bleed Esports Academy over in the Pacific, and now Southeast Asia, they're pulling out of the league due to various dramas with Riot, Soup.tv, and all sorts of stuff happening in that region. It is no longer tenable for one of the biggest organisations in challenges to even compete any longer. Loads of drama as a result of this. As always, Riot Games have lots to think about with their decisions they have made here over the last few months. Plenty of other drama elsewhere as well. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Starting just to quickly mention with the watch parties and therefore the kickoff tournament getting underway around the world. China gets underway back again in a few hours time. Of course, we saw the first round games a couple of days ago. Today is EMEA. Tomorrow is the Americas. Pacific is a couple of days away. Chet's still not being allowed to watch party. He's banned, unfortunately, until the end of Masters Bangkok. But yes, it is this evening, 5 p.m. GMT, my time anyway, where Liquid and Movistar KOI will kick off the EMEA kickoff tournament. So yeah, these are the games, couple of games tonight. Liquid KOI, Carmine Corp Na'Vi. The winners will play Fit Esports and Team Vitality respectively. Hypok as well was commenting on, not commentating really, on the VCT for now anyway. We know that he's had, you know, some health issues. He's had his absence, and Pansy's going to have a new partner, it seems, going into this kickoff, and he just kind of gave some context on that situation. Also from Loud, we saw this with Furia, visa issues affecting their roster even being able to compete at the start of the kickoff. And as Loud say, our Valorant coach STK is working remotely with the team and the staff. He will continue to do so until his US visa is approved, which is expected to happen this week. So yeah, hopeful, but not guaranteed at all. Again, visa issues, as we saw yesterday, affecting some of these Brazilian teams. This is a pretty cool thing as well. Optic 100T are doing a show match on Valorant. That's happening today, this evening, with Tejo, right? So doing it with the new agent in play, just in time pretty much for the Americas kickoff to get underway. So it's going to be a good one, of course, like Vinny, Peter Parker, Lydia and Abel, and then of course the man himself, Nadeshot, in the center against Formal, Scump, Karma Methods and Maniac. So yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun happening today. One day, of course, as I say, before the kickoff gets underway. But speaking of Valorant drama, we have to start here with the new patch update 10.04 on the competitive map rotation. Now, this isn't happening for the kickoff tomorrow, right? Like, this is going to be happening, I believe the plan is after Masters Bangkok. Now, this is always controversial, and I don't think it matters what Riot do with their decisions here. Someone is always going to be mad about it. Now, no, I'm not trying to defend Riot in the way that they approach Valorant esports, because I'm not a massive fan of it all the time. But I will say that in this situation, someone's always going to be mad when it comes to changing the maps. And if you want to maintain utmost competitive integrity, you would have to never change the maps. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a second. But yes, Abyss and Binds are going to be gone. Icebox is back in, and Ascent is going to be back in. So Ascent was not out of the map pool for long. But yeah, Abyss and Bind out, Icebox and Ascent in. Ye's kind of mind blown about it. Obviously, there's other discussion about it as well, and this is Tense's perspective. I'm so happy that Abyss is finally going. I'm not a fan of Abyss at all, actually. So I agree with Tense on that one. On the other hand, are we just rolling a dice for when and what maps get rotated in and out? Couldn't imagine being a player still and having to deal with the frequency of map pool changes. Also, didn't Ascent just go? He goes on to say, once again, Abyss is gone and might have to celebrate today. So yeah, this is the point really, especially from the pro player side, is that okay, you want to make the map pool changes, why and when? Be interesting to see if they've made any tweaks to Ascent or Icebox either. They probably won't have done, but I guess we'll see. And Kaplan says this, I have no idea why Riot are changing 2 maps at once mid-season, but the only way it would have worked is not announcing the maps until Writers Thailand ends. Teams coming back from Thailand will have 3 weeks to pick 2 maps up. Teams who didn't make Thailand will have 7 to 8 weeks to prepare. Now, this is true. I'm not saying Kaplan's wrong. He is correct. If you qualify for Masters Bangkok and you go and play, and this map pool change is going to be taking place 2 months down the line, by the way, then you'll be playing on the current map pool with Abyss there, with Binds there, and then as soon as you finish the tournament, you come back home for a couple of weeks to practice before the split begins, and you've got to play on a different set of maps. Now, Is this necessarily fair? No, but I don't know what the best solution is here, because the other option is they don't even announce that until the tournament is just about to start, at which point then they confirm it. But then the other teams will say, oh, well, all these last minute changes, because if you're another team that, let's say, didn't qualify for Masters Bangkok and you're playing, 5 weeks of practice during that time frame on Abyss and Binds, and then you find out just after Bangkok that actually, no, it's going to be the different maps, you're going to think, that's it's a bit of a joke. We've grinded all that time for this reason. And I will also say that in regular sports, it is a thing that if you're one of the better teams, you can have a disadvantage from that. It is difficult to maintain being at the top because, let's say, you're a footballer or like soccer, wherever you guys are from around the world, and you're playing and winning lots of matches, then you're playing more matches, you're in more tournaments. So, the players are getting more tired, there's more rotation, there's more matches to play, and therefore there's a disadvantage associated with that against some of the weaker teams. And that's kind of natural. So it's not great, but I do genuinely think this is just part of esports. I think Riot could probably always handle some of these things better. But the idea of if you do qualify for Bangkok, you're at a disadvantage. Yeah, that's true. But sometimes that's just how it goes. Sure, Sentinels, assuming that they qualify for Bangkok in Kaplan's, hypothetical world, they may get the disadvantage of only getting 2 weeks to prep on Icebox and Ascent. The other teams get many more weeks than that who didn't qualify. But equally, Sentinels would get the advantage of playing competitive matches against the best teams in the world on, the current patch update that the other teams aren't going to get. So it goes both ways. Kaplan, of course, has his take on it, and I get that from the player and the coaching perspective. But, as far as I'm concerned, it is what it is. Let's talk about Disguised, DSG, because this was the big drama of yesterday. We saw their coach said, I'm out of there. And we wondered why, what's going on, is DSG cooked? And that's exactly what we see. So DSG have been around in Valorant, and I feel so bad for Toastmat because he's done so much to try and commit to making this work, this project work in Valorant in many different domains. And it has worked on occasion. Of course, the team that they had with Ye was a shambles. Then they went to Pacific. They effectively became Bleed's Academy. That was okay. And then Bleed collapsed. And now they've stayed around with some of those players as well. So as we see here, DSG will be exiting the Valorant Challengers League SEA Southeast Asia. With Riot's recent partnership with Soup for the SEA League, the exclusivity clause prevents co-streaming on other platforms. This would mean that we would not be able to stream our games for the next 10 months until our team qualifies for Ascension. It was a new and amazing experience stepping into the SEA region. We appreciate the players' hard work, but we simply can't make it work. And Toast himself, I'm not going to read through every word here, but you guys can feel free to pause and read for your own kind of, well, you know what, I will go through a bit of it here, really, because so the general context is that Soup, the guys that ran that tournament, they used to be Africa.tv or whatever, then they're the SoupLive.com, whatever they're called nowadays. They ran the tournament a while ago, great tournament, NRG won the whole thing. Now, they are a streaming platform, basically, not a great one compared to YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. There are problems with Soup. The website sometimes doesn't load. The chat moderation doesn't really exist, and other problems as well. But the bottom line is that Soup are being partnered with by Riot to broadcast exclusively all of Challengers Southeast Asia. Now, this is very controversial, and Toast says that he's really annoyed about this. He's frustrated because this happened for Split 3 last year, and he was under the impression that for this year it was going to be different. So he was committing to DSG, believing it'd be possible. The issue is for DSG and any of these teams, nobody watches on Soup. People are going to watch on Twitch, they're going to watch on YouTube, they're not going to watch on Soup. It is what it is. So Toast cannot bring in revenue from the stream and cannot bring in sponsor revenue because the sponsors aren't going to sponsor the team if nobody's going to watch the team play. And this is the fundamental issue. Toast is annoyed about it because if he'd have known this, he would have pulled out a while ago and said to the players, look, explore your options with teams. But now it's very close to the start of the season, so it's unfortunate timing. But the bottom line still is that this doesn't make any sense to continue in this way. So, Will Chobra says, does anyone have a report on these exclusive streaming rights? Tanmay said this is what he he's heard that Soup was brought on as the league's exclusive organizer under a 4-year deal with Riot Games, covering 100% of the league's operational costs in exchange for exclusive streaming rights on the platform. Now, the controversial thing about this is that Soup, I believe, is a Korean organization, but yet the Korean league in Valorant, that's fine. Stream that way you want. YouTube, Twitch, whatever. But for whatever reason, the Southeast Asia one is going to be exclusively here. So this is what we currently understand. Jake even says, head of Valorant Pacific, we're not receiving any money from Soup. We are co-investing with them in Challengers Southeast Asia. But of course, okay, they might not be receiving money, but if Soup are covering the cost of running the league, then, they kind of are. There is a value exchange there. The problem is, again, that this value exchange is basically killing the league, because which organizations are going to want to get involved, which sponsors are going to want to support it. I mean, look, respectfully, I'm not going to be watching it on Soup Live. I'm sure many of you guys aren't going to be watching it on Soup Live either. So yeah, to me this feels like a misguided decision, and it's very unfortunate, I would say, for all involved. Maybe DSG will be back in some other form in another region, but yeah, their time in SEA is absolutely over. Just before we close out the video, a couple of scrims. I know you guys have been keeping up with the Leviathan scrim results, and they were locked in last night. We don't know who they were playing against, but they were finally winning a scrim emphatically. They were up 14-1 on some team, and they were up 18-5 on another team. So, yeah, looks like Leviathan might officially be back. We finally got some scrims that it seemed like they're actually going to be winning, but very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.